Aren't you tired of giving up 40 hours of your week, every single week, just to scrape by? Your boss pays you pennies, your landlord squeezes you for rent, and by the time your paycheck hits your bank account, half of it is already gone. When we learn about the Middle Ages in school, we're told that feudalism was oppressive. 99% of people were filthy peasants, while the 1% lived as kings and lords. But doesn't that sound familiar? Most people today struggle to get by, while a tiny fraction hoards the wealth. Maybe capitalism isn't as great as it seems. And maybe feudalism wasn't quite as terrible as we've been told. Welcome to Medieval Mindset, where we take principles from the Middle Ages and see how they stack up against modern life. Today, we're putting feudalism head-to-head with capitalism. Was medieval society really backward, or did it have things we've forgotten? 1. Job security and reciprocal obligations. Try finding a job today. Even if you land one, security is shaky. At any moment, corporations can lay off tens of thousands of workers without warning. Feudalism worked differently. Serfs, unfree peasants, were tied to the land, yes, but they were also guaranteed plots to farm. In return, they owed labor or rent to their lord. And in exchange, the lord was obligated to protect them. This wasn't just theory. A French bishop, Fulbert of Chartres, wrote in the year 1020 that if a vassal pledged loyalty, the lord owed reciprocal duties in return. If he failed, he wasn't acting in good faith. Of course, lords didn't always live up to the ideal, but the expectation of mutual duty was built into the system.
Records from medieval manors show peasants guaranteed pasture for their animals, grazing rights and access to resources. Unlike today, joblessness or eviction was far less common. Even the Magna Carta, while mostly about barons, protected peasants from excessive fines. If a serf was punished, the fine couldn't strip him of his tools or livelihood. In short, peasants were poor, but they were protected.
2. Morality and economics. Medieval life was shaped by Christianity, and that included economics. Greed was a sin. Profit wasn't celebrated for its own sake. Justice and the common good mattered more. Usury, charging interest on loans, was condemned outright. The church declared notorious moneylenders should be denied communion and even Christian burial. To medieval people, that was worse than prison. It threatened their eternal soul. This meant money was supposed to serve social needs, not enrich lenders at the expense of debtors. Thinkers like Thomas Aquinas even argued for a just price. Goods shouldn't simply be sold for whatever the market would bear. Commerce, he wrote, should serve both buyer and seller fairly. Overcharging was considered unjust, even sinful. Guilds and local governments enforced this. They set quality standards, fixed price ranges, and made sure no one could gouge consumers or undercut neighbors unfairly. Even kings stepped in. 13th century English laws fixed the price of bread and beer relative to grain costs to prevent profiteering. The focus wasn't growth at all costs. It was stability, fairness, and community. 3. Work-life balance. Now let's talk about downtime. You've probably heard that medieval peasants had more days off than modern workers. And it's true. The agricultural year had natural rhythms of planting and harvest. On top of that, the Christian calendar was packed with feast days, dozens of them. Sundays were sacred. Working was forbidden so people could rest and attend Mass. As early as the 8th century, laws listed the types of labor forbidden on Sundays: plowing, harvesting, even holding court. Some lords tried to cut back on holidays, but peasants could, and did, take them to court to win back their festival time. Medieval people expected rest, celebration, and time with family. Work was part of life, not the whole of life. That balance has largely disappeared today. 4. So, who had it better? If a time machine appeared right now and offered you the life of a medieval peasant, should you take it? Let's be clear, life in the Middle Ages had real hardships. Poverty, disease, and oppression still existed, but we shouldn't automatically dismiss the past as worse. Feudal society offered security, community, and rhythms of life that kept people grounded. By contrast, our modern capitalist world often sacrifices stability and human connection in pursuit of endless profit. Maybe the question isn't whether we should return to feudalism, but whether we can learn from it. What if we recentered our lives around fairness, stability, and community instead of constant growth? So, what do you think? Was feudalism secretly better, or is capitalism the way forward? And this has been Medieval Mindset. Make sure to like, subscribe, and join me next time as we explore more lessons the Middle Ages can still teach us today.